Namaskar, welcome back to Media Scan. What a week it has been. With a staggering victory in Gujarat for BJP, a feel-good for the Congress in Himachal and Aam Aadmi Party bagging MCD, there was so much that the media had to talk about through the week. And that is what we will decipher in just a few moments. But first up, what made news? A stunning victory, if ever there was one. Bharatiya Janata Party romped back for the 7th consecutive term in Gujarat. But that is just one of the many other records. The opposition stood decimated as BJP almost touched 160 out of 182 seats and its vote share going well above 50%. Congress lost substantially, ending even below the 20 mark. Aam Aadmi Party did manage to dent the Congress. The support base, though it could win just 5. Congress Party, which had won very few elections of late, got a feel-good factor in Himachal, where the party won a clear majority with 40 seats in the 68-member assembly. The BJP had to contend with 25. Aam Aadmi Party, which had been launched in the state with much fanfare, failed to open its account. Aam Aadmi Party, which was campaigning for a double engine in Delhi, managed to dislodge the BJP from MCD after 15 long years. BJP fought well and crossed the 100 mark, but Aam Aadmi Party bagged 134 wards. Just like the Assembly and MCD, by-polls in few states also threw some very interesting results. Dimple Yadav won from Manpuri, where by-polls were declared after Samajwadi Party patriarch Mulayam Singh Yadav passed away. However, BJP wrested SP stronghold Rampur with a comfortable margin, while the party lost Khatoli to RLD. An interesting update from Bihar was the victory of the BJP in Kurni Assembly, where ruling Mahagathbandhan failed to retain its stronghold. There was no proposal at present to reintroduce the National Judicial Appointments Commission NJAC bill. This was declared by the Union Law Minister Kiren Rijiju in the Rajya Sabha earlier this week. Meanwhile, the issue of judges' appointments continued to make headlines throughout the week. Vice President Jagdeep Dhankar even blamed the Supreme Court of undermining the Constitution for refusing to accept the NJAC Act, which had been passed with due legislative process. 3 elections, 3 different messages. But more importantly, some very interesting, far-reaching messages for the politics of the entire country. Today, as expected, on Media Scan this evening, we shall try to decipher what the recent election results are trying to tell us, what is the voters' message, and what are the takeaways for the coming elections in the next year and the year hence. Joining me to help me decipher all these issues and much more, 3 very senior journalists of the country joining us from far corners. I have here with me, first of all, joining me straight from Shimla, Ashwini Sharma, senior journalist, has been reporting on Himachal politics for the longest possible time. He was with us during the elections and most of the things flagged by him have come out to be true. So congratulations, Ashwini Sharma. And it's great to have you back today.
Thank you so much.
Also here with me, another very senior journalist, former editor, analyst and commentator Ajay Umat, joining me from Ahmedabad. You have known him to be one of the strongest voices, a very seasoned analyst on Gujarat politics always. Welcome to Media Scan, Ajay Umat. Great to have you for the first time with us.
Thank you, Smita ji.
And also with me, Shekhar Iyer, well-known editor, senior political analyst. You have been hearing him on Media Scan on previous occasion. Great to have you back, Shekhar. I hope we have a wonderful conversation.
Thank you, Smita.
And I shall like to come to Ashwini Sharma before our other guests. Ashwini Sharma, very simple and direct question to you. Most of the signals, the issues that you had flagged in our conversation on an earlier episode seem to have more or less come out true in the results that have just come. Very quickly, sir, what is the message for the Congress party which is now going to be back in the saddle in your state. Also, what is the message for the outgoing incumbent, the BJP? Because very clearly, the Himachal voter has decided not to change the Rivas.
Thank you very much. And first of all, I must tell that Congress has given 10 guarantees to the people of Himachal Pradesh. Election issues was a different scenario, but now they have to perform because they have got 40 seats, which is more than the majority. And they are going to form the government. Their process is already on. Today, their observers have reached Shimla, and there are going to be consultation with the elected MLAs, and there has to be formation of the government within the shortest time, whatever they decide. Number one. Number two, as I said, they have given 10 guarantees to the people of Himachal Pradesh, which include implementation of the old pension scheme. Let's see whether it works or not. But they are saying that we will decide this issue in the first cabinet meeting. Then there is a promise of giving 1 lakh jobs to the youths, unemployed youth, because unemployment has been an issue in the elections. Number two, and there is a guarantee to give 15,000 rupees to every woman in the age group of 18 to 65. So that is another promise they have to make. They have to deliver, and before that they have to form a government which has the representation of all the sections, all the regions, and there are persons with a clean image getting to the post of the chief minister, because earlier it used to be Veerbhadra Singh who used to dominate, and there was no doubt about his capabilities and mass appeals. But here the Congress has to elect a new leader, a new phase. And there are 3 contenders already in the race, and they include wife of former Chief Minister Pratibha Singh. She is the MP also, and she was made president of the party before the elections. Then there is the leader of opposition, Mukesh Agnihotri. Then another third person is Sukhvinder Sukhu, who was PCC president earlier, and now he was heading the campaign committee of the Congress. There are 3 faces right now in front of us, and the Congress party has to decide from among us these 3 faces. And I was hearing to some news bulletins right now, the Pratibha Singh has taken her claim quite forthright, saying that the elections were held in the name of Veerbhadra Singh. So his family has the first right to be asked to get over.
We also heard Srimati Pratibha Singh on the day of the results. First of all, the fact that she kept repeating about, the status enjoyed by her late husband, Veerbhadra Singh. She was also very smart to point out that there is no such rule that an MLA only has to become the chief minister. But be that as it may, Ashwini Sharma, very quickly, sir, which is the bigger challenge according to you for the Congress party? Is it electing an acceptable leader for chief minister, or is it going to be implementation of the promises which they have put in their manifesto?
The first thing first, they have to choose the leader, and it's not going to be an easy task, I may tell you, because there are already groups within the groups, and one group is claiming the support of so many MLAs, 23 MLAs, and Pratibha Singh says that she also has all the MLAs who used to support Veerbhadra Singh, over lie list of Veerbhadra Singh, they are with her. And there was a small demonstration also when Chhattisgarh Chief Minister reached Shimla, and they tried to show off their strength in front of Bhupesh Baghel, who is the in charge for the elections in Himachal Pradesh, and will be very crucial to the selection of the leader. I think first they have to set the leader and make him an acceptable choice among the MLAs. That is very crucial question, and then they have to get into the business of governance.
And if I am not wrong, while the Congress has this problem of deciding an acceptable leader, there is need for certain stock taking in the BJP camp. But I shall come to you on that. Before that, can we please go to Ahmedabad, where we have our senior journalist Ajay Ummat waiting to speak to us. Ajay Ummat, what a stupendous victory for the BJP. And how would you say the 1, 2, 3 takeaways of this very, very historic mandate?
Smita ji, in Gujarat, we have a rewaj not to change if things are going in a perfect manner. So, unlike Himachal Pradesh, every 5 years, they change the government. here the Gujarat, people have loved Narendra Modi's government since last 27 years. BJP is ruling this state, and this is the seventh consecutive victory that I am witnessing of Bharatiya Janata Party.
Yes.
And in all the seven victories, I have seen the role of Narendra Modi. In first two elections, Narendra Modi was there at the helm of affair of organization as General Secretary of Bharatiya Janata Party. Then in 2002, 2007, 2012, he was the Chief Minister of Gujarat. And in 2017 and 2022, he was Prime Minister. And in all the seventh assembly election, BJP had won. Barring
Okay,
one,
before
that was
Ajay
2000
Umat, before I come to the micromanagement of the elections, the booth level campaign of the party, I have a very quick query for you. Earlier, Narendra Modi was working as the chief minister of the state, the government was in his hands. Since he moved to Delhi as the prime minister, we saw a slight dip in the BJP's fortunes in the last elections in 17, but in 2022, that has been completely upturned. What, according to you, explains this stupendous result even when Narendra Modi is not running the government from Gandhinagar?
Smita ji, very nice question. In 2017, he thought that now he is the prime minister, will come only for campaign, and he allowed local leaders to handle everything. But
Right.
then, we have seen Patidar Anamat Andolan, Hardik Patel, Jignesh Mewani, Alpesh Thakur, and things have gone topsy-turvy for Bharatiya Janata Party. Narendra Modi had to come to Gujarat in last 10 days, and he has to address, almost 35 public meetings and road shows. And BJP was out at nervous 90. So Mr. Modi was not pleased and amused. And so he decided that this time, he didn't want to take any chance. And that was the reason that before 1 year, he swung into action. He realized that, on one side, there is an anti-establishment and anti-incumbency factor. On the other side, people were unhappy with the corona mismanagement of the government. So he changed all the ministers, including Chief Minister, Mr.
Right.
Rupani. And then he brought new faces. Number one, he brought new faces. Second thing that, he has only, made a strategy that, how to win more than 150 seats in Gujarat to break the record of Madhavsinh Solanki. And the same thing was implemented with the skills of Amit Bhai Shah and piloted by Patil, who is party president in Gujarat. So it was a perfect teamwork of Bharatiya Janata Party. But having said that, Smita ji, I would like to say that this is a historical victory, not only for Bharatiya Janata Party, because Bharatiya Janata Party for 7 consecutive victory, that means they have virtually equaled the record of West Bengal government of 34 years, where Jyoti Basu was chief minister
Yes.
for 5 terms and Buddhadev Bhattacharya for 2 terms. Number one. Number two, Aam Aadmi Party has become a national party from Gujarat only. And Congress Party has also in a way formed a record to reach to the lowest nadir.
Their
of,
lowest
27
figure.
lowest score. Lowest score of
even in the past
27%.
few elections, yes, please complete your point.
27% vote share and only 17 seats. Now they are not even qualified to get a position of leader of opposition in the house, and they may not be able to contest any Rajya Sabha election. And the beauty is that none of the party is now blaming EVM, that we lost because of EVM. Congress is
So,
saying that we lost because of
We
Aam
have to
Aadmi
see,
Party's-
Ajay Umat, whether there is a
Yeah.
kind of a reconciliation in the opposition ranks, that perhaps blaming the EVM every time is not going to help, because there is
Exactly.
something called diminishing returns. However, Shekhar Iyer, I have a lot of questions for you regarding the overall, the countrywide message of these 3 elections, where I include the MCD as well. But before that, very quickly, as Ajay Umat was saying, Narendra Modi, Amit Shah and the BJP took the unprecedented, step of removing the entire team of ministers in Gandhinagar, including the chief minister, and yet they have come out with this result. At the same time, we have the state of Himachal Pradesh, where if we found perfect discipline in the organization despite such a huge step, we realized that in Himachal, there was something really not right in the organization, because so many rebels in such a small state is really a worrying factor, and we saw it showing in the results. It finally reflected in the tally.
Indeed, Smita ji, because what has happened is, see, what worked in Gujarat, did not appear to work in Himachal, because the appeal of Modi, is always there, whether it is Himachal or Gujarat. But in order to take advantage of that, the party has to work together, and the local issues, factionalism, they should not be there. Not that the Gujarat, there was no factionalism, there was. But the overwhelming emotional collect of Prime Minister Modi is such. Gujarat people did not want to listen to anything. And one of the biggest thing, we must congratulate the people of Gujarat, that they were not tempted by any freebies. This is the first time in any state in India, people or the voters are decided not to be lured by any guarantees, not to be lured by anything. This is amazing, because people of Gujarat, as they say, are people with lot of wisdom. As Umadji was saying, if things are going all right, why change it? Why fix it if it is not broken, as they say? So therefore, I think it's a very important message that in a state where people are expecting from the government, they want policy clarity, they want an enabling environment where as entrepreneurs they can perform. But in Himachal Pradesh, very unfortunately, bad economics and bad politics have come together. See, for instance, the old pension scheme. The new pension scheme was brought by Manmohan Singh government after it was initially introduced by Vajpayee government.
Yes.
In fact, this was one of the biggest bipartisan reforms. And today, given the state of finances in Himachal Pradesh, if you go on promising we'll give you this and we will give you that, and you want to revert to old pension scheme, this is going to surpass the state budget, the state resources. Whereas, see, in Gujarat, Aam Aadmi Party made a similar promise. But it was quickly pointed out by none other than even Home Minister Amit Shah, that this is the budget of Gujarat, and what Aam Aadmi Party promises is more than 2 lakh crores, which is available for Gujarat. So I think, look at the voters in Himachal and look at the voters in Gujarat. Now, I am not saying this to underplay the problems faced by people of Himachal.
Right.
People of Himachal have always faced bunyadi problems, like development and being a hilly state, lack of opportunities for young people. These are all there. But things have been different. And also, yes, BJP needs to learn a lot. You have the Prime Minister, you have the brand Modi, but then you will have to fix your house inside. If you don't do that, Prime Minister's appeal can go waste.
Right. So Narendra Modi's appeal is definitely working big time. The Modi magic is not only intact, it seems to have been strengthened, but there needs to be an enabling organization and faction-free organizational setup to ensure that it translates into votes at the booth level. However, Shekhar Iyer, I was just going through some of the opinion columns published just after the results, and two very differing narratives, were visible. There is one set of commentators who are very clear about saying that these results and other results in the country, they speak about Narendra Modi able to, carry the elections, carry the party forward in its trajectory. But there is a completely contrary set of opinions where the commentators are trying to say that why Narendra Modi magic worked in Gujarat, it did not work in Himachal and perhaps also in Delhi, which is trying to prove the fact that Narendra Modi magic itself is not a factor. How do you look at these contradictory opinions? I mean, both cannot be true, right?
No, I think people who are upset with Gujarat results are getting solace from Himachal results. And for people who are very, very happy with Gujarat results, they are very upset about what has happened in Delhi. Because Delhi case is a case where the BJP has to do a lot of soul searching, because they were 15 years in the Municipal Corporation of Delhi. There were governance issues, there were issues of sanitation, which was exploited by Kejriwal. But not that the Kejriwal government has a great track record, because issues of Yamuna cleaning and also this Delhi excise scam and also the treatment being given to the Delhi jail minister, who remains a minister and is in Tihar jail. So, you see, that is why the verdict reflects these. Because
I will come back on that.
It
Shekhar
did not
Iyer?
give a complete sweep to Aam Aadmi Party as expected by exit poll. At the
Yes.
same time, BJP was not completely routed, as some exit polls have said. That
I will come
shows
back to you, Shekhar
that-
Iyer, on what these round of elections mean for the Aam Aadmi Party in MCD, but also in Himachal and Gujarat. But before that, if I can come back to Ashwini Sharma. Ashwini, you may remember you had mentioned the old pension scheme, as also some, some unease over the Agnipath scheme, and of course the factionalism within the BJP, which perhaps prompted so many rebels. It was an unprecedented number to challenge the party leadership in the state, which finally reflected in the results. Very quickly, sir, which do you think was the more potent factor in the BJP not doing as well as it should have? Was it issues like the old pension scheme and the Agnipath scheme, or was it the organizational challenges, including the rebels?
Actually, it's composite factor, not the one factor. There are so many factors. I can't prioritize one or two factors, first, second factor. But old pension scheme definitely has been the foremost important issue which the Congress has tried to raise. The reasons, as I said in the earlier program, was because there are large number of government employees in the Himachal Pradesh.
Right.
There are 1.60 lakh employees, serving employees, and there are pensioners, So every house practically has one or two employees, or every second house has an employee. So the employees have been the big factor in Himachal Pradesh. You remember even during the Shanta Kumar's time, there was a big agitation by the employees, no work, no pay, and he dealt with it, but he paid the cost for it.
Yes,
The
very
government-
much.
Right. So old pension scheme, despite the fact section of the employees do admit with us that it's not possible for the state government, as Sir was saying, because of meager resources in the state government. I was speaking to finance officials in the government. They were doing some exercise. In case they have to implement, it's going to override the salary bill of the state government.
Yes.
And therefrom the development funds will come. In the budget, there is only 29% of the funds which goes to the development in Himachal Pradesh.
Okay.
The rest of the funds either goes on the salaries, pensions, interest liability. Himachal Pradesh has a debt liability of 70,000 crore, right? So there are the interest repayments. So there are
So you
lots
are
of
saying there is the situation is not quite enviable when it comes to the financial health of the state. We are
Yeah.
already watching some repercussions in Punjab because of
Yes.
a very freebie promising election. So certainly Himachal will have to be very, very careful with its budgets. Can I please come back to Ajay Ummat on one very interesting question? Mr. Ummat, you were telling us earlier how the Congress has, really touched its nadir in your state. But there was another player in the game, that was Aam Aadmi Party. Certainly they have not scored many seats, but they have dented the position of the Congress party. It is now almost clear that they have harmed the vote share of the Congress party rather than actually denting the BJP at all. How do you see the emergence of this third player in Gujarat? And is this now becoming a fight within the opposition?
Smita ji, to tell you frankly, there is no opposition. Out of 182 seats, 156 seats are with Bharatiya Janata Party, Congress with 17 and Aam Aadmi Party with 5 seats. As I told you, Congress is decimated in such a fashion that, they won't be getting a position of leader of opposition also there. But Aam Aadmi Party has certainly dented the Congress Party in more than 80% of their seats, 80% of their vote share, and that is quite huge. So there were 40 seats where Aam Aadmi Party were on second position, and there are 35 seats which Bharatiya Janata Congress Party has lost just because of Aam Aadmi Party's intervention. So BJP Congress Party is very much upset with the entry of Aam Aadmi Party. But having said this, in Gujarat is a state of bipolar political
Yes.
system only. In past, Chiman Bhai Patel was a very popular chief minister.
No,
He
hold on,
found
Ajay
a-
Ummat. Just want to check with you. Are you trying to tell us that in Gujarat, after the experience of these elections, perhaps the voters of the state will try to go back to a bipolar, picture?
I think so. I think so, Smita ji. The reason
Okay.
is that, Kevan Bhai Patel, Shankar Singh Waghela and Kesubhai Patel, all three former very, very tall leader and former chief minister, they also failed, in forming a third front in Gujarat. And, this time it was definitely a vote for Modi because of Modi's popularity, but it was also a point that, voters in Gujarat did not find any option also. If you see the ground, I was part of many surveys and was discussing a lot of things with many psephologists. Everybody was telling me that on the ground, you see that there was a lot of anti-incumbency, price rise, unemployment, paper leakage, poverty, farmers' problem. These are all issues. But at the end of the day, voter was talking all the anti-incumbency things. But when he goes for voting, he would become pro-incumbent because he thinks only Modi is the option. There was no other option. You should find out some leader, who would come and address all these issues.
So clearly, even if all these issues were there, even if all these issues of the anti-incumbency were there, finally the voter must have decided, certainly she decided, that the available options after the BJP were perhaps worse options. So better to stay with the power that is there.
Yeah, that's why in my opening remark, I said that, a known BJP is better than unknown Revdi wala.
Precisely.
So
Precisely.
people in Gujarat, they are very smart, in calculating things that my budget is 2.43 lakh crore and the Revdis or freebies which Mr. Kejriwal is offering, it is resulting
the
to
financial wisdom,
rupees in my budget.
the financial wisdom of the Gujarati voter has been in play in these elections, you are telling us. Let me come back to Shekhar Iyer very quickly. Shekhar, I want to come to the bigger picture now. Whether it is the MCD, it was Himachal where the Aam Aadmi Party could not secure even one seat, or their less than, proudly claimed performance in Gujarat. Altogether, it seems, of course, the Congress has found a feel-good factor in Himachal, but I am not very sure that the victory of Himachal is going to make a lot of a change for the Congress nationwide. In the national picture, Shekhar Iyer, do you think that the BJP under the leadership of Narendra Modi remains totally unchallenged? They are ahead by miles, and whatever fight is remaining now on the ground is actually perhaps the fight for the second, third, fourth position, as we say. Your take?
Well, Smita ji, Prime Minister Modi ji remains the tallest leader and most popular leader. That fact has not got changed. But and also voters in India distinguish between municipal election, assembly election and Lok Sabha elections. So, I mean, that is very clear. And in the next 1 year, which is left before the parliamentary election, there are going to be elections in Karnataka, Tripura in the first half of the year and some states in the northeast, followed
11
by
elections,
Telangana,
to be precise.
Madhya Pradesh, Chhattisgarh and Rajasthan.
11 elections, Shekhar.
11 elections are there. Yes, BJP has a great advantage in the leadership of Prime Minister Modi, but at the same time, there are certain issues, there are certain factors which are also working against BJP. But so far, the opposition has not put their house in order. See, the fact that you have a Bharat Jodo Yatra, which is actually being dubbed as a Rahul Chodo Yatra, because most states are not receiving Rahul. See, he did not go to Himachal, he did not go to Gujarat. I mean, Gujarat event, but just a couple of meetings or more, that's all. And in Himachal also, Priyanka Gandhi addressed very few meetings, though Congress party is now eager to credit her. See, the fact remains, Kharge has a challenge, and Kharge is going to remain, Mallikarjun Kharge will remain Congress president until next year. See, the problem with opposition...
Okay, allow me to cut you short here, because I have hardly a few seconds left, Shekhar Iyer. Very quickly, how will, Shekhar Iyer, how will these results play out in the ongoing winter session of Parliament? Very quickly in one line.
No, but it will play out, but the mood is balanced because it is not complete victory for opposition or complete victory for BJP.
Right.
So there has to be some kind of a balance.
Right. So some kind of a balance has been thrown by the voters of India, and that is where the voter proves every time that she is the king, because while the BJP has done stupendously well in Gujarat, they had a disappointment in Himachal, which shows that just banking on the magic of Narendra Modi will not do. It must be augmented by real work on the ground. At the same time, the Aam Aadmi Party has got a reality check that every state is not Delhi. What they must have realized in Gujarat as well as particularly in Himachal. For the Congress party, it is very clear that they have a long way to go before they can actually become the true challengers for the BJP in 2024. If we agree with the political pundits that this is actually a semi-final, because for the next many elections in 2023, we are going to hear the political pundits keep repeating these as the semi-finals. On that note, time to thank all our seasoned, experienced journalists on the panel. Shekhar Iyer, you have always given us a direction, talking points to discuss on the show. Thank you so much. Ajay Ummat joining us for the first time, but we couldn't have done better without you. Thank you, sir. And Ashwini Sharma, I know you are recovering from a surgery, but you were so kind to be on the show just for Media Scan. Thank you once again. Viewers, the message is out there for all the political parties. 3 different elections, 3 messages, and some very pertinent messages for the entire politics of the country. But more than any other message, the voter remains the king. A positive way to end the show on this special edition of Media Scan. See you next week. Namaskar.